Yo, it's Tony D. I was in the mega shop doing some organization, ran into this, brought back a lot of memories. This is a Marvel and DC crossover. At the time, in 1982, these two titles, super hot. I know for a fact that New Teen Titans with Wolfman and Perez, that was their #1 title. I'm pretty, Chris Claremont, Uncanny X-Men was their top book. So, of course, the companies, they saw an opportunity, they took it, and they hit a home run with this bad boy. Really, the purpose of this video is just share you the artwork, flip through it. I'll highlight some of the panels that I distinctly remember, because I read this book over and over, and it was one of my favorite books in '82. It's one of those books when you're a kid, you just take it everywhere. You know, there's no way that's going to be near mint ever. And you don't even think about that back in days like that. I miss the innocence of being a comic book reader. Let's get in it. Boom. Apocalypse Now from the get-go. I remember the depth and the shadows. Yeah, the plot was Darkseid there's something going on with the source wall, and Darkseid has got to manipulate the Dark Phoenix into channeling that power. I believe that's what it was, but look at that. This training session is just etched into my memory. I always thought it was just the detail, just the hair on the arm was incredible. Walt Simonson, he's top 5 guy. Like, I would almost say top 3. This is good stuff. They're showcasing their powers. If you're not familiar, you get a little taste of each character's powers. Colossus getting the missile action. Nightcrawler bamfing away. Oh, Kitty Pryde. Back then, I never thought Cyclops was cool. I don't know why. Just wasn't resonating with me. Colossus was really my guy back then. That's weird that Wolverine wasn't, but I always, like when I was little, it was whoever the strongest was, that was my guy. Just the way I was. Oh, that's so freaking cool. Yeah, he was getting into their dreams. I think it was just to trigger the Dark Phoenix. Wow. Okay. That's a great shot. That made sense with Starfire being from outer space, that she would have knowledge of the Phoenix. That's actually a good way to have a crossover. Like, it makes sense. I do remember reading this, and it really didn't feel like a crossover. I think one of the big successes of this book was it felt more like they're both from the same company. That's my guy, too. One of my top 5 villains. This is when he could use 90% of his brain, which made him super tactical and really a superpower, going through fight simulations, what he's going to do. And then they got rid of it. They said if he could use 90% of his brain, then he would be telekinetic, and he's not. I thought that was weak. I still think he should be that way. Who cares? That's always an interesting thing, the capacity of the brain and throwing that in there for that purpose, but they thinking too much. That's all that was. Wow, this is really Walt Simonson. He's the best at drawing outer space stuff, spaceships, energy, especially energy projections. Wow, here's more of that depth. That's got to be hard to do. You know what I mean? I wonder how long it would take him to draw a page like that. Oh, this is one of my favorite Deathstroke panels, and for some reason, it's that right there. I'll never forget that. The whole fluid movement of him popping up on the chair and like reacting, like Simonson nailed it. That's good stuff. Now they're going to the Avengers Mansion. Yeah, because Starfire knows that threat has to be stopped, so she gonna attack anybody. That fits her character too back then. So now they're beefing. Boy, it doesn't last long. Shock commandos. That's a pretty powerful hit right there on Cyborg. Yeah, and they know there's a speedster, so he has some kind of device where I think it makes him faster. He can increase the efficiency of the battle suit, so he makes it where it looks like he's going slow. That's an interesting device. So Gar turns into one of them. That's interesting because is it really an animal? We'll let that slide. It's good. Golly, there's that depth again. I really like how he's repeating that through the book. Oh, this was always cool. You ain't gonna get one over on Wolverine. Yeah, so they're getting beat down now. I always thought that was interesting how he's using the leverage. You would think he'd just take him out, but that 90% brain power. Do you think his brain power told him to do that, or seems like an easy move, huh? Oh, incredible. The source wall. There's that energy. Yeah, there's also the first mega shop tragedy. Hey, these books are old. This paper, it can get brittle. I'll get a new copy though. I may even try to, I want to see if there's like a special edition, something with extra stuff in it. That would be cool to have. More of that perspective. He's got to be the master of perspective. Okay. So they use both of them, using that energy to generate the evil Dark Phoenix. I'm going to make a confession. I never really got into the Dark Phoenix back in the day. I don't know why. I think Claremont, when I was younger, he was such a good writer. It went over my head. I was really big into just looking at the art. A lot of memories. So now they're teaming up. This book really just doesn't seem like a crossover. That's a really cool thing about it, is it's blended together so well with all the parts. It feels like a standalone issue. I remember feeling that way. That looks like Lockheed. That has to be like Lockheed. That's pretty good. You got Changeling turning into a Marvel character. Boom. I love Deathstroke. If anything, just looking at this art, it's worth the price of admission, folks. There's that movement again. I will say, this is interesting. One time, I commented on a photo on YouTube, and I was like, that's cool, the smoke coming out. It was another picture where it looked like smoke coming out. Someone had to jump in there and get all nerdy about it. These are optic beams. It's not heat. I was like, wow, dude, just enjoy yourself. You uptight. I never replied back. I never do on stuff like that. I go with the flow. Love it. I thought I was fast. That's at 90%. He saw that coming a mile away. Ooh. Giving her the what for. She's like calling Darkseid like, my dread and loving lord. The hell pit is born. Talk about marriage. Oh, well, Metron's getting in. So I guess Metron was a neutral dude, but it looks like he's helping out. Amplifying Raven's power. You know, it's funny how I remembered this. It's such an odd thing to remember. But she had that power to disrupt electrical systems. I mean, that's a nerd alert. What are you gonna do? Cyclops never resonated with me. Plus, I never enjoyed the little love thing they had going. I was like, come on, dude. When you're little, that's mushy stuff. Oh, now, I will say this is impressive. They merge, makes him super powerful. That's probably the coolest optic blast he has ever blasted out of them eyeballs. That's fantastic. So, yeah, they did the deed. They're married, so she's going to take him away and let him have it. Brings back a lot of memories. Probably one of the greatest crossover events with DC and Marvel. I did a little research on it, and they were going to have an issue 2 of this. It was scheduled to come out December 1983 with Wolfman writing and Perez on the pencils. Can you imagine? That would have been awesome. But the squabbling screwed it up. And it also screwed up a JLA Avengers crossover that was going to be started in 1984. This would be a good research item. Is there any original art with the issue, the number 2 issue? I don't think there is. I believe they didn't even start on it yet. But the JLA Avengers crossover in 84, I wonder if there's any original art with that. But R.I.P. George Perez, 2003. He got his due. That guy is awesome. Also, something else that's noteworthy, there wasn't another crossover event from 82 until 1994 when they did Batman, Punisher, Lake of Fires. Crossovers, they're a different breed of animal, but in my book, this is my favorite. It didn't feel like a crossover, and enjoyed going through it. Get it?